What's up? Gaming news show on YouTube that really just wants you to fly.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Talk Gaming. I didn't accidentally forget to unmute Christian.
Did you really forget to unmute me?
I mean, we got the fly part.
Look, the joke was that John was singing the hit 1997 track "Fly" by Sugar Ray featuring Super Cat.
Super
I think
Mario.
is his name.
Oh,
Featuring Super Mario. So I introduced this as the only gaming news show that wants you to fly.
we do.
Anyway, but John's bad at his job. So anyway, I am Christian, aka Sex Sandwich. That's John, aka it's me, Jon B, and that's Courtney, aka it's Courtney 808. How are you two this evening?
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. I'm doing okay. I can't complain.
I can.
Okay. and you shall. Yeah, no, I think the week's going by kind of fast, I think. It's Wednesday already.
I just wish it would go a little faster. A little faster would be good.
If it goes too fast, we won't have any shows to do.
I am very large on the screen and I'm not a fan of it. I'm seeing now that I definitely do need some sort of lighting source.
I'm seeing now. Try to hit the light button again. See what happens. Nailed it.
Yeah, no?
Just leave it.
All right. Goal for 2023 is to get Christian lights.
I'm tired of sitting in the dark. I've got nowhere to put my boxes and nothing to light my lights with.
Dude, you have no idea that how I have nowhere to put my boxes.
I know. He has no garage space
Anymore, unfortunately. That's a whole big fucking deal. And then guess what? I came home to like 6 more boxes today.
Oh,
and
stop ordering.
What are you ordering?
It's work related stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not
makes sense.
ordering things.
Got it.
But it's stuff to do my job, unfortunately. And then I also am ordering things. John and I were having a nice conversation a couple weeks ago about how we like pre-order things and then they just show up and we're like, we forgot about this. And our wives are like, what is wrong with you? And then we're just like,
yeah, that's already been pre-ordered or whatever.
Yeah, we pre-ordered it. I didn't spend the money now. I spent it months ago.
Yeah, exactly. The money's been spent.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it now.
It's too late.
Yeah.
We're already poor, all right?
Speaking of poor, you made a poor decision recently and bought a new controller.
I did. Are we jumping straight into that, or are we gonna follow the run of show that I gave you?
Well, here's a little bit of housekeeping for you. If you're watching live, give it a like. If you're not watching live, give us a like. If it's your first time here, give us a subscribe. If it's your second time here, leave or your third or your first, leave a comment. There you go.
Say you like us.
Yeah, we won't be live tomorrow, Thursday, but we'll be back on Friday.
Yes.
Why are you? Does somebody have plans?
No, some of us have work.
Oh,
not all of us get to go out and cancel show because we have plans to go do other things. Christian.
Okay.
I have a concert to go to, Christian.
You can blame my mom for that one. Usually,
no stream today. No. Christian has better things to do.
I wish.
No, I'm photographing college men's basketball tomorrow.
Ooh, who's playing?
Making money.
University of Hawaii and UC Santa Barbara. I got hired by UC Santa Barbara, so.
That's weird.
Why?
Because you live in Hawaii. So
because it's too expensive for them to bring their own photographer to cover their games. So it's easier for them to contract somebody who's already here. And I've actually shot for UC Santa Barbara before. So I'm very thankful that when they were coming back to town, their SID was like, hey, you want to shoot for us again? I'm like, absolutely. I need money.
Or as Christian would say, absolutely.
Yes, I would say absolutely. That's fantastic. I'm excited for you to do that. Santa Barbara is a wild place, let me tell you. I had to visit there couple months back in November, and it is somehow the beach, but also the mountains, and it's hot, but also freezing and windy. It is all weather and all biomes at the same time, and I don't understand how it exists, because you're literally like on a gigantic cliff in the forest overlooking the beach.
And it's old. It's like an old city too.
Yeah, it's been there forever.
Yeah, and last week it was underwater.
Was it?
Yeah, it got hit real hard with the floods.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe the rain filled up the ocean that much.
I know. It went all the way up the cliff.
Dang.
Crazy, dude. It was a lot of rain.
Yeah.
Wild we didn't get any down here.
The videos that I showed you, Courtney, of the water going all the way up, those were that was Santa Barbara.
Oh shit. Well,
where was it going all the way up to?
The neighborhood. Like it was past. It was like they're all the way up to like the car door, basically. Like halfway up the car door. It was high in the neighborhoods.
It was very, very high. Well, I'm glad to see that their basketball team has survived.
Didn't drown.
Yeah, survived the flood and made it out.
They learned to tread water real
basketball.
quick. They're now the water polo team, actually.
That was a good one, John. That was a good one.
Look at you knowing other sports.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Water.
John, once again, I don't care what people say. I think you're a pretty funny dude.
Thanks. Thank you very much. That was also a pre-show thing. You got to be there. You got to be there.
Yeah, you got to be there. You had to be there in the pre-show. Maybe we should start doing the pre-show and post-show.
Maybe. Speaking of pre, we had The Last of Us air earlier this week.
We did.
Yeah.
Did both of you watch it?
Of course.
Yes.
Okay. Give me some top-level thoughts.
Well, I'm already right here, but
he said top level, not top shelf. Yeah. Yeah.
I loved this episode. This episode was so freaking good. I cried because it gave me the PTSD from the video game all over again. I appreciated the voice acting that was involved that they brought back for the show. I also really liked, I told John this, I really liked how he stopped mid-battle to reload his gun.
Yeah.
It really made me feel like I was back in the game.
Yeah.
So funny enough, it took Courtney pointing that out for me to realize, oh fuck, he did. He stopped to reload. That's really funny. Because I didn't understand what he was doing. He was taking the empty shells, the bullet shells out of the gun and not dropping them on the ground, obviously, to not make any noise. But I'm like, what is he doing? It didn't make sense to me. But now I understand what was happening, and I was like, oh my god, that is true. He had to reload. Very rarely in media besides video games, of course, because you have to manually reload, do they ever show people reloading their guns?
Yep.
What did you think otherwise, though, John?
So I love how they start every episode, and there's only 2 episodes so far, but how they start every episode with a little bit of backstory, more information as to what is causing this outbreak. Like we started in the 60s in the first flashback, and then in this one it was like moments before the huge outbreak, and they're showing they're trying to discredit this being a fungus because it doesn't make sense for the fungus to live in these temperatures and live in the body and that sort of stuff. And I really like how they're going, no, that's not how it works. And they're kind of explaining how, well, we're going to get an explanation on how it basically evolved into what it is now. I also kind of felt that sense of dread when that scientist basically said, I want to be home with my loved ones. Like she knew that shit was about to hit the fan. Yeah, everything was coming to an end. Well, and that was just the beginning of the episode. Then we get into, that's the stuff we don't know about. Then we get into the show and just the recreation of the scenes of of epic proportions of going out into a destroyed city, seeing it all for the first time again, but this time in live action. Really puts you on the edge of your seat when they're going through collapsed buildings and I'm looking at this, I'm like, they're brave. I wouldn't go out and I wouldn't go onto this collapsed roof. There's exposed rebar everywhere. One slip and I'm afraid of getting impaled. Like, I think they did a really good job with the environmental storytelling in that sense. And of course, they don't have to spell it out for you, but they're like, this is blocked off. And it's like, well, obviously it's because the building fell down. Now it's blocked off, and they do a really good job at explaining all of that. And, I'm a very distracted television watcher, but this show really has me revisiting those feelings and enjoying moment by moment. And when it's over this time, the first time when it ended, I was like, wow, that episode was a lot longer than I expected. This time it ended and I just thought to myself, wow, I fucking need more, Yep. And it's just, like Courtney was saying, like, I guess they brought back voice actors for the clickers specifically. That's why they sounded so true to form. And then what I really found really interesting and cool was that they mentioned that the actors who played the clickers were actually recruited because they were really big fans of the game. Like, these are actual professional actors, but the reason why they were chosen is because they were really big fans of the games who studied how to mimic the movements that the clickers did in the game to really try to make that scene come to life. So that kind of pop block feel, that's not CGI.
They nailed it.
That's them. Yeah.
These clickers were popping and locking.
Yeah. They laid the cardboard down and started spinning.
It was a really interesting change from the source material, but I think it worked.
I think it worked really well. And it felt
Scared
real.
the shit out of me, so it worked.
I will say that the design of the clickers, while true and very fungus looking, felt very colorful and big. It almost felt like I can see that it was a prosthetic, just by looking at it. But I'm not gonna nitpick that much because, like, zombies aren't real. What the fuck do I expect? So
yeah.
And you didn't immediately love it. Sorry, Courtney.
No, you're fine.
I didn't immediately love it.
Yeah,
like the look of it.
Yeah, as soon as they popped up, I was like, "Oh my god! Like, this is incredible, dude."
Yeah. No, I did. I absolutely did. And I thought that they did a really good job on it. Like, I actually sat up to watch that part. I was like, "Oh fuck, this is it."
It was so terrifying. It just gave, and it was worse. It felt like, playing the game was already scary enough and traumatizing because you're in control of trying to not die by these clickers.
Yeah.
Watching the show, I felt even more dread because of how they moved, how they sounded, the visual of it. Like, in the game, especially I played the original game before it got remastered and fixed and stuff. So it was still scary, but it wasn't perfect.
There was not much realism to it.
Yeah. And so the fact that they made it look so realistic in the show.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
I played the remake and wow, the remake was good. The PS4 Pro, I played on the PS4 Pro, but either way, really good. What did you think of it, Christian? The second episode.
I echo everything that you guys are saying. I thought they did a fucking fantastic job at recreating the tension, as we said, but also recreating very like one-to-one the museum portion of the game.
Yes.
It felt like playing. I had the same tension and dread coursing through my body that I did the first time I ever played through that section.
Yes.
On the PS3, and it was just incredible how well that they got the details. The museum was recreated basically one for one.
Yep. And
sneaking through there, and then the little details, like you said, Joel reloading, just like, it was just fantastic. I really loved how the episode started, and my favorite part was as they were leaving the salon that they started in, Joel grabs the bookcase and he moves it like he's in the game, which is my favorite part. Nice. I was like, that motherfucker's hitting triangle right now.
I want to point out one thing. I want to know how you folks reacted to Tess getting the fucking thing put in her mouth.
That was the only part that I was not a fan of. It wasn't horrible. It was just really weird.
Yeah, I thought it was cringy, but also at the same time, I don't want that in my mouth. so it was kind of grossed me out at the same time, but I felt it was a little weird. Like, why are they romanticizing this right now?
Yeah, I listened to the official Last of Us podcast, and somebody told me that they give the Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin give a reason for the kiss in the podcast, and I listened to it, and there wasn't really a reason. They just said we thought it would be creepy.
Well, nailed it.
There you go.
And I was like, I don't know if it was creepy so much as it was just weird and kind of off-putting.
Yeah.
I kind of much rather would have rather seen Tess go out in a blaze of glory, like
What she did.
She did, but more actively.
Sure.
Like I thought
like fighting, like actually like fighting off, like
or
having them try to ravage her and then just having her just fucking, yeah, I would have rather had seen that.
there was the tension. She couldn't get the lighter lit. I didn't need to see that as much as we did. I would have rather seen it. She had a little bit of trouble and then drop it, and then that it could have ended there. It could have not had the kiss at all. I know some people mentioned that they thought when that infected was running by and he stops and he turns, people were saying they thought that it was just recognizing her as one of them because she was infected, and that it was going to turn and then turn back and keep going.
I was hoping for that.
What?
I was hoping for that.
Yeah.
Like we all were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was the only part, but that was the very, very end of the episode, and like I appreciate. I'm really appreciating the changes that they're making in the show, and the additive stuff that they're adding in. And that says a lot because I'm somebody who really wants adaptations to kind of be one-to-one. I think there's a reason that, when something is created and people love it, there's a reason for that, and you don't really need to go in and change the formula too much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin understand that really, really well and are making the right changes and the right additions to the show so far. A lot of people were complaining that there wasn't going to be spores in there, and they changed that to be the tendrils, which I think is extra creepy. And I like the kind of network of fungus where you kind of step on a piece of fungus in one place and they feel it, in another place. So I really liked it. I really thought it was the most, I mean, we've only seen 2 episodes, but I thought it was the most video gamey performance and episode so far.
I like the addition of the explanation with the tendrils having a network underground as well, because it does add that additional sense of terror when they're walking, like when they're going up the stairs of the museum and there's all of this decayed fungus all over the place. So you're like, okay, well, at the very least they can step here because it's dead. That's a dead network. But you still want them to watch where they're walking, because there could be anything anywhere. And then Ellie steps on that skull and it freaks everybody out. And I really like because a couple of reasons. They're not babying the audience. When they realize that somebody has been mauled, Joel and Tess, is that her name? They're having their discussion and saying this can only be one other thing. And he basically tells Ellie, you need to shut the fuck up from here on out. Not be quiet, but be silent. And it really gives that terror for the audience being like, oh God, what's going to come? And then for the video game fans are like, oh shit, it's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like it's that moment. It's like you have 2 different audiences. You have the audience who are watching it because they want to see their favorite parts come to life. And then you have the audience that has no idea what's going to happen. And they are on the edge of their seat wondering what's going to happen next. And I think that this is the formula that really needs to happen when it comes to adaptation. I think it's very similar to books, right? Like if you read a book, you go to the movies and you want to see that. I
can't read.
I know, but for those who can, we have an audience bigger than just the people talking on the show. I hope.
Okay.
But when you read a book, you go to a movie and you hope that the adaptation really comes to life and you go, yes, this is what I imagined and this is what I wanted to see. And I think that when it comes to adapting video games, for whatever reason, whatever the medium, people would look at it and go, well, this works as a video game. And yeah, video game fans will come and see this, but we really need to dumb it down because the audiences aren't going to know what's going on. And that ruins a lot of media because of that. And they're not doing this. They're like, we have a beautiful story to tell and we're going to tell it through and through. And just that and then of course in panic and trying to figure out what's going on, Joel is explaining hoping that she can read lips, that they are blind but they can hear, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's just a very well done scene. I really enjoyed that whole build up and the conclusion of the museum part of
they casted really well too. I think it's also just a huge credit to the actors that they casted for each role so far.
Yeah, I am just consistently blown away by everybody, but specifically Pedro Pascal and his performance as Joel, and just the little nuances he puts in. I mean, there's a scene at the end where Tess shows that he's bit, and he's like, "Show me," and then she like goes to show him, and he like backs up.
Yeah,
and it's just little things like that, really kind of like adding a lot more depth to the character of Joel, and also really understanding, which I think that is something that's really impressive, is he seems to understand the character really well despite having never played the games. And I really like that, and I'm more hi Mika Blue.
Hi Mika.
What's up, Mika?
I am very if you have the chance, I highly recommend listening to the Last of Us podcast, because it's really interesting hearing why they change things. Like, they have a lot of good reasons for why they change things, from, that happen in the game to the show, or, explaining why we can't do this in the show like you can in a game, so we're doing this instead. And then just talking about performances and stuff, and just how well that Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal are nailing these characters, once again, that they have never seen or encountered. But that just goes, that's a credit to the directing, the writing, and of both the show and the game. Because you have a solid backbone to lay this foundation on, and these characters are so rich and well thought out that you can transport them into a TV show, and the actors instantly know what these characters are feeling, what their motivations are. I think it's just excellently done.
Anything else to add? All right. What?
No. No. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Thanks for ruining my segue, Christian.
You're welcome.
Speaking of rich and well thought out, you bought a new controller.
I did buy a new controller. And I'm not rich or well thought out at all. But I bought a new controller, and I'm gonna switch screens here so I can make sure that everybody can see it. I bought this controller. Wow. This is the NYXI Wizard controller, and this got a lot of traction over the last couple weeks for being a GameCube controller that promised to not have drift.
Can you hand it to me? I want to see it.
Yeah, I have it.
Can you hand it to me?
It's in this box.
Can you hand it to me?
Yeah, here.
Thank you.
You got it?
Yeah. I'm very curious. You've used this, right?
Yeah, I've used it. I'm gonna give a full review right now. So first off, it comes in this box. I thought the packaging was really, really nice. It also arrived in a very timely manner because it came from China.
Wow.
But I'm gonna do my best to unbox this while trying to keep it in frame.
Okay.
So it comes with this little slip cover, and then this nice sturdy box here.
A box you can't throw away. See, this is my problem when I buy stuff. If the packaging is nice, I can't get rid of the packaging, and then I have just boxes everywhere.
Yeah, it says NYXI on the side. I'm right there with you, John. This is going straight in my closet for no reason other than it's a nice box.
Yeah.
All right, so let me pull it out here. I think the packaging is pretty elegant. For this controller was $60 if I remember correctly, and I think for a $60 controller, this is a really nice purchase and a really nice box. So you get the controller.
The price of a Pro controller.
What was that?
About the price of a Pro controller.
Yeah, I mean it's really fairly priced compared to a lot of controllers, like third-party controllers that you'll find online, especially on like Amazon and stuff. Most of them, especially if they are shaped like the GameCube controller or shaped like another controller or even themed around them, they tend to go for a little bit more, which is disappointing. But yeah, this one was only $60. I think it was free shipping and everything too. So top level thoughts. It's really nice. I love that they matched the indigo color from the original GameCube controller. It's about the size of the Wavebird, which is one of the best controllers of all time. Which is the wireless GameCube controller, if you're not familiar. So it has a lot of different features. It's got some back buttons right here.
Fancy.
Programmable?
Yeah. Programmable back buttons. Each side has turbo, which is these buttons down here.
Okay.
And then these are the profile buttons, which help program the back buttons. It has the turbo is multifunction, so it can go at different speeds and different intervals and stuff like that. I like probably my favorite part, and what really sold me on this is usually when you buy a controller for the Switch, it's either the whole thing like this and you can't take it off, or it is the separate Joy-Con.
Right.
And this one is both, and it comes.
Awesome.
If I can get it off, so it comes off.
That's really cool.
And then you have a little middle connector piece. What I really like about it is they function as separate Joy-Con as well. So if you really wanted to be weird, you could play a game like this.
That's awful.
But yeah, here I have my Switch, so I'll show what it looks like on the Switch if you haven't seen from the tweet. It's an abomination, to be completely honest.
Holy crap, that's massive.
Now I have to ask, how does it feel in both handheld and in standard controller form?
In standard controller form, it's really nice. Like I said, it's about the size of a Wavebird, but it's considerably lighter than both a Wavebird and a regular Pro controller. And what is interesting about that is it does have rumble. I don't believe it has motion controls.
Okay.
But if I'm being completely honest, I didn't try it with motion controls.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure it doesn't have motion controls. In handheld mode, it's actually really nice because, again, it's not heavy. So I've been able to kind of lay in bed and just sort of play like this.
Nice.
And it's more comfortable than using the Joy-Con. And I actually also have, if you're familiar, I have the NYXI Split Pad Pro. And that's supposed to give you a better grip. I would say this is a much better controller than the Split Pad Pro for about the same price.
How many games have you played with it so far?
I have played just a handful.
Okay.
Obviously, when you have a GameCube controller, the first thing you're thinking is Smash Brothers, because that's what you play GameCube controllers use GameCube controllers for.
Smash Brothers is GameCube controller compatible, but my curiosity really falls with the button placement for other titles, because it's not traditional ABXY placement. It's got the GameCube placement. Does that make playing certain games difficult?
No, I mean, if you've never used a GameCube controller before, then yeah, probably. But I think, as somebody who's a big fan of the GameCube controller, I don't think it's weird. It can be kind of like, if you have good muscle memory, I kind of have to sometimes look and be like, all right, which one is X, which one is Y? Because those are just jump to me in Smash Brothers. But I've been playing Fire Emblem Engage with it. I played a couple smaller games like Tools Up with my wife using the controller, and I played some Smash Brothers. I played quite a bit of Smash Brothers, and yeah, I really, really like it. I think it's a really solid controller for the price, like I said. It's got a lot of neat features. The lights can be, you can't see it now, but here, I'll turn on my system so you can see. It illuminates the buttons.
What's up, Bento? Welcome in. I like that. The illuminated buttons.
Yeah, you can actually change how bright the buttons are. It's just got a lot of little neat features. And it's super comfortable to play. Like, if you're a GameCube controller fan, or you really want to have a really good Smash experience on the go, like I said, this is primarily going to appeal to people, I think, who are either GameCube controller fans or they're Smash Brothers fans.
How do the button presses feel?
They're really good. It feels really solid.
Okay. The worst thing about getting a third-party controller is getting buttons that are either too mushy or they feel clicky or whatever it may be. Like they don't really give that feeling of a premium feeling controller. You know what I mean? And when you spend $60, you're hoping like that the controller at least clicks good or whatever. You know what I mean? Especially the GameCube controller.
Yeah, what I would say is the ABXY feel very similar to. Whoops! Everything just fell. Feels very similar to the actual GameCube controller.
Nice.
The sticks are really solid. I really like the sticks. They feel light in a good way, but still really solid. And you still have like the nice click. It does the in click.
I can hear it.
The D-pad. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's got a really solid D-pad. I haven't played any D-pad heavy games with it, and I know that's really important to people who do use a D-pad. But the triggers are the biggest difference because the GameCube triggers kind of all go like you push it in, like
They're
it's
analog.
like one solid. Yeah. These are digital, so they don't. The trigger that ZL and ZR don't go as far in, but they're more traditional triggers. They're not. They don't go in as far as even the Pro controller, but I actually like it because you have to press less to kind of get it to do what you want.
Nice.
But it feels like a very premium product for not a premium price. I was really impressed. I was really nervous when I bought this because again, it's only $60 and I have a menagerie of different controllers for the Switch. I actually have a wireless third-party GameCube controller, which I don't love. It doesn't feel great. It also got a lot of lag when I play wirelessly. This one I experienced very minimal lag when I was playing wirelessly, which I thought was really, really good and really, really important. So it was very responsive. But yeah, I think overall I would probably give this an 8.5 out of 10. It did have some things that weren't great. Like I said, the lag was minimal, but it didn't feel as responsive wirelessly as it does having just a straight GameCube controller plugged into my Switch. I did not have that problem with the controllers attached, as you see here. It feels super responsive. I would have liked maybe a little bit more customization, but because you can pop off the sticks, but it doesn't come with replacement sticks for it. Let me see if I can pull this one off right now.
And it's broken.
Yeah, it's broken. So you can change them out, and I was hoping that was gonna mean it was gonna come with a C stick sized stick.
Yeah. Rather you have two different analog sticks, both the same size, just different colors.
Which is actually better.
Yeah.
Honestly, because it works better for more games. But I still would have liked to have been able to swap it out to the classic C stick. I'm really looking forward to playing some shooters, which I didn't have a chance because every time I think of playing a shooter with a controller like this, I think of playing Call of Duty, and unfortunately we don't have Call of Duty on the Switch.
Sure.
But yeah, I would give this an 8.5 out of 10. I highly recommend it if you can get your hands on it. I know they're sold out right now. But if you want a really solid third-party controller and you're a fan of the GameCube controller, definitely pick up the NYXI Wizard.
Nice. Heard it here, folks.
All right.
Now, thanks for everybody sitting through my review. I think we're going to jump into some game news. Are you folks ready?
Yes, let's get into the news.
All right. I'm going to be real. The news, there's not a ton of news, and some of it is not good news, but we're going to get through it. Because that's what we do here on Talk Gaming. So we were talking about The Last of Us a little bit earlier, and we have some more news on it breaking some records. So I pulled this from Game Informer. The Last of Us Episode 2 broke a massive record for HBO.
Nice.
Last week, The Last of Us premiere scored HBO's second largest debut for an original series since 2010. And now Episode 2 of The Last of Us, Infected, has broken another HBO record. Infected brought in 5.7 million viewers across HBO and HBO Max streams, marking a 22% increase over last week's 4.7 million premiere. That increase is the largest audience increase from a first episode to a second episode for an original drama series on HBO in the network's history. as first reported by Variety. HBO calls it the quote second, or calls it quote the largest week 2 audience growth for an HBO original drama series in the history of the network. Episode 1 of The Last of Us also crossed 10 million viewers just 2 days after premiere, and Variety reports that it's tracking at 18 million views, which is nearly 4 times its premiere night audience.
Nice.
So some really big numbers for The Last of Us. Guys, does this guarantee a season 2?
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, the actors keep saying if you want a season 2, you have to watch the show. And I think this is proving to be, yes, we're getting a season 2.
Now, my question is, so season 2, does it follow a different story? Do we get Last of Us Part 2 in season 2? Do they split up Last of Us Part 2 since it's got 2, different storylines? What do you think?
Well, I've never played Last of Us 2. So I can't speak on that. But I think that it would make the most sense to do. I actually like your approach since you mentioned that there's
part 1 and
two
part 2
storylines. I know how gut wrenching it is going from Last of Us 1 to Last of Us 2. No spoilers for those who don't know, but we're gonna grow to love Joel, and I think that's gonna be a crazy either ratings boost or I could just already imagine what's gonna happen if they follow The Last of Us 2. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something I wanted to say when we were talking about our Last of Us review is I'm kind of jealous. Last of Us is one of my favorite games of all time, probably, if not my favorite game of all time. And I am jealous of people who don't know the story and are going into the show blind.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I know what's going to happen, and I can only imagine the intensity and the emotion that I would be feeling if I was really invested in the show and I didn't know what was going to happen next. So I'm a little jealous in that aspect of people who are going in fresh, and that makes it more interesting that if we do get a season 2. And John, you said you haven't played the second game. Courtney, have you played the second game?
I did. I didn't finish it. I think I got about, I want to say halfway through, and as somebody who, I don't like scary games. I don't like scary anything. The fact that I played through the entire first Last of Us and even attempted the second one, I got about halfway through, and I think for me, the novelty of it kind of faded for me. I was so invested in the storyline from the first one that drastic change in the second one, don't get me wrong, the characters and the storytelling is still really, really well done. But I was so attached to that initial story and wanting that to be developed more that for me, that was what was holding me to playing the game in spite of the fact that it was too scary for me. So when that changed in the second one, there was kind of really no point for me to stick with it. So I honestly, I hope that maybe the way they adapt the second one makes it still important for people who've grown to love the characters in the story from the first one. It does something to keep them and have them stick through the entire second story.
Yeah, the two games are described. The first game is described by Neil Druckmann as a story about love, and the second game is described by him as a story about hate. Mm-hmm. So I think that makes
or revenge.
I think I think that makes for a really compelling second season. And I think I don't want to wait any longer than we absolutely have to for a second season.
Sure.
But I think it would be smarter to split it up. Unless they wanted to really gonna go out of their comfort zone and do maybe like a 20 episode, 1 hour long premium drama show, which is not the case. Usually if you get an hour long drama, it's 9-10 episodes for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I see them probably splitting it up since there's so much content in the second game. If they do go through with the second season, but I think it's probably more than likely that it's the second season's happening. I'm sure that Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann are sitting in the office of HBO right now in their huge piles of money discussing season 2 as we speak.
I'm wondering though if because of if any of you played through the first game, I'm wondering if they're gonna actually split the first game into 2 seasons.
No.
No, they've said that
They're gonna go all the way through.
Mhm.
yeah, they said the first
Oh.
season
They've
is
already
the first
confirmed
game.
that. Yeah.
hmm
Mm.
Which is good. I don't want them to split the first game. I just don't think it makes sense.
It would
Sure.
be too much filler too. We don't need the
Yeah.
filler. We just need good storytelling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool. Moving on.
Speaking of good storytelling,
Bad
we have-
transition.
yeah, thanks. We have a story here about most devs feel harassment from players is an issue. I thought this was an interesting thing to talk about. I got this from Video Games Chronicle VGC. Majority of developers see player harassment as a serious issue, survey suggests. While around 40% surveys said they've experienced harassment. 75% of game developers responding to an industry survey have said that they believe harassment and toxic behavior from players is a, quote, serious or, quote, very serious issue. As noted by Axios, the poll was organized by the GDC and its affiliate publication Game Developer and surveyed some 2,300 game developers from around the world. 91% of respondents agreed that player harassment and toxicity towards developers was an issue in the industry. About 4% of respondents said that it was not an issue, while 5% indicated they were unsure.
Jesus.
Around 40% of those surveyed said they'd experienced harassment from players themselves or had seen it happen to someone on their team. Those working in community management, marketing, or PR reported experiencing or witnessed harassment more than those in other roles. Men surveyed were less likely to say they experienced or witnessed harassment than women or non-binary people, and those who identified as part of the LGBTQ+ community were more likely to say they experienced or witnessed harassment. Last year, we saw many studios speak out against harassment of their employees, with some even aggressively pushing back, such as Bungie, which sued a player who allegedly threatened a staffer.
Good.
In GDC survey, around 2/3, 68%, said their companies had addressed harassment they witnessed or experienced. 1/5 said no, while 11% were unsure. Is this surprising?
No.
It's not surprising. It's just really disappointing.
Yeah.
I think the issue is, so there was a time, and this is not necessarily where we need to go back to, but there was a time where if you developed a video game, your names did not appear in the credits. And while I think that the practice back then was that we're all a team, so we all share the group effort, so nobody gets the individual praise, I think that it also protects the developers and the workers in the entertainment field.
Mm.
I'm not saying that that's something that we need to resort back to, but I can also see the argument that maybe, credits, it's murky. I mean, obviously everybody deserves credit for the work that they put in.
Yeah.
That being said, I think the biggest issue is that people on the internet do not understand how to act. They live their life anonymously. A lot of them probably don't have good social lives. They probably don't have any friends. They probably have a lot of bad things happening in their personal lives that make them act out and lash this way. And unfortunately, they go onto forums or Twitter or whatever, and they just have these unhealthy, toxic ways of expressing their anger or disappointment or hatred for a type of person or a video game or whatever it may be. And we have platforms that lift this up and allow it. And we have a culture that likes to put these types of messages in the forefront, in the spotlight, even if it means blasting it with negativity. They're getting their name out there. They're getting their message out there. So other people who are watching and maybe disagreeing with those condemning with it are now being more, they're actually seeing this and going, hey, this person gets a platform. Like, I can say some heinous shit and probably get a platform too. And I think that's ultimately what the more unfortunate thing is. I think, like you said, am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised. I'm just very, very disappointed.
I just think it's hard too that we as a society have emboldened these people to say the first things that come to their mind, and they regard it as, oh, I'm just speaking the truth, and
Right.
and you know, it's just a scary thing of people's opinions being, they feel that their opinions are the truth, and if you can't take the truth, then that's on you. No, you're just shitty, and you have no sense of the fact that you're just so entitled to your opinions, and you think that because you are the consumer, you have every right. I mean, don't get me wrong, as consumers we have the right to, you know, adjust the things that we're purchasing, but at the same time there's give and take, and the fact that so many of the players feel that their words mean end all be all for all of these developers and games, it's bad. And that's why, like, we've seen the negative effects of it, of players badgering developers and video game studios into making the game the way they want it and rushing a game. I mean, look at what happened with Cyberpunk. Everyone was so hell-bent on getting that game out fast that they didn't care that when it came out it was shit. And and then they're just badgering people of specific races and genders or beliefs because they feel that there's nothing else to attack because they can, in being disappointed in a game. That it's just, I just hate that we as a society have emboldened these people so much that they feel safe and secure behind a keyboard on social media, that they feel they can just say whatever the hell they want and just attack real people who are putting hard work, time, effort into games and love into games. And it just ruins it for everyone else.
Yeah, it's really disappointing that there's such a large, I don't even want to say large, it's just a very vocal minority of people who think, like you said, that their opinion is, you know, the end all be all because they're the consumer.
Yeah, it's like a sense of entitlement.
Yeah, it's sense of entitlement, and I lost my train of thought, honestly. But it just sucks. It sucks, and I think this is, you know, I used to be very against Reddit and very against Twitter because of the kind of, I don't want to say community, but what it can foster and I guess fester is a more apt term, because it gives these people, like you said, a platform to just be horrible. And yeah, it just sucks. It really sucks that this is, you know, this is only 2,300 people. So extrapolate that out to, you know, the hundreds of thousands of video game studios and developers there are out there. And it sucks that, you know, 91% of all these developers felt that player harassment is an issue. Like, it, you know, I will say this, if you enjoy a game or you have played something or listened to something or whatever it may be that you really enjoyed, you know, help counter the negativity out there. You know, don't let the vocal minority be the only vocal group of people. Go out there and tweet at the developers, tweet at the game studios, say I really enjoyed this. Tweet at the composer, say I really enjoyed your music. They really do appreciate it, and it's just an easy way to get out and combat some of this negativity. And I, like I said, I know that they really appreciate, you know, hearing those messages of positivity, because those are so few and far between, unfortunately. You know, I can't even imagine being a developer and, you know, having a Twitter and waking up every day to, you know, oh, you suck, or what, you know, why is this like this? And you know, I had a weird tweet go semi-viral, and I was already like annoyed. It wasn't even like people being mean to me, but I was already annoyed when people wouldn't stop responding to it, and I had to mute it. I can't imagine being a big developer or you know, and logging on every day to say, you know, somebody from Bungie, you know, getting harassed because Destiny isn't working the way this person thinks it should.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Which is a bummer. So we're going to move on to story number 3. Blizzard fires WoW Classic lead after he protests an employee evaluation policy. So I pulled this from PC Gamer. This is written by Tyler Culp. Before resigning in protest of the policy, Brian Birmingham was fired. Here's the subheadline. One of World of Warcraft's classic lead developers was fired by Blizzard after protesting an employee evaluation policy, according to a report by Bloomberg. Brian Birmingham, who is the lead engineer on WoW Classic, refused to give an employee a low evaluation in order to meet a quota introduced by Blizzard in 2021. The process, called stack ranking, requires managers to give about 5% of their employees a low performance evaluation to fit on a bell curve of relative performance. According to Activision Blizzard sources who spoke with Bloomberg, a low rating reduces an employee's profit sharing bonus and, quote, could hamper them from receiving raises or promotions in the near future.
So stop right there. Already, this is the corporate bullshit policies that exist that fucking piss me off. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This has nothing to do with employee performance. It has everything to do with making stockholders happy. That's it. And it's fucking bullshit. So the fact that we lost, I don't play WoW Classic, but I mean, there's a lot of work to preserving archival information for World of Warcraft. And I think that this is probably one of the best things that World of Warcraft does, and that is archiving past iterations of WoW, experiencing it how it was when it first came out. You know, people talk a lot about archiving classic video games from previous eras, whether it's cartridge era, NES, disc era, PlayStation, that sort of stuff, because you want to be able to experience it, right? And the one thing that Blizzard is doing right here is archiving, while it is a PC game, but it exists, and you can go back and you can experience it like you once were able to in its true form as a massively multiplayer online game. And that's supposed to be fun. That's supposed to be exciting. This is the video game industry, right? This is entertainment. This is supposed to be great. Then you have these stockholders who are demanding this sort of treatment of their employees. It's a very strange thing. You're not going to get good performing staff from something like this. And if a person performs well, that they deserve the highest payout of their bonus, then they deserve their highest payout in their bonus. Period. A very, very frustrating article.
That's just It's just awful that you can tell these higher ups are doing it just to hit certain financial margins and quotas. Mm-hmm. And that's so fucking stupid, because you wouldn't even be able to hit any of those if not for these employees who are building and developing and creating these games, who are breaking their necks trying to keep this sustainable so that you can just sit in your office chair and look at these numbers on a chart.
Yeah, some of us don't even have office chairs.
Yeah, some of us are sitting on the ground. Some of us aren't even sitting.
Yeah. No, it's true. You know, and capitalists have never built capital. It's always the workers that do. Yet somehow the capitalists get all the credit. So it's insane.
That's a good quote, John.
Thank you.
I'm sure you didn't come up with it.
No, it's a very common sentiment. I just use my own words.
I've never heard it before, but I liked it.
Got it.
I'm going to continue reading on the article to give a little bit more context. In an email to staff expressing his frustration with the policy, Birmingham wrote that Blizzard executive leadership justified the policy by claiming that it will, quote, squeeze the bottommost performers as a way to make sure everyone continues to grow, end quote. He also said that he was asked to keep the policy a secret from employees.
Wow.
In practice, Birmingham believes that stack ranking, quote, encourages competition between employees, sabotage of one another's work, a desire for people to find low-performing teams that they can be the best-performing worker on, and ultimately erodes trust and destroys creativity. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. This guy's a forward thinker. I don't know where he's headed, but he needs to go to a company that will actually appreciate him.
Yeah. The article goes on to say, in the letter to Blizzard staff, Birmingham wrote that if the policy isn't reversed, that the Blizzard Entertainment he wants to work for, quote, doesn't exist anymore. And as for why he's protesting it now, Birmingham wrote that he and other WoW managers had been able to work around the quota for the last 2 years, but now that he was required to drop an employee's ranking to hit it, now he was required to drop an employee's ranking to hit it. According to Birmingham's email, others in WoW leadership asked if they could meet the quota by giving themselves a poor rating, but were told they couldn't.
Awful.
Before sending the email, Birmingham reportedly told a large group of employees that he planned to resign. An HR representative spoke to him to confirm his resignation, and then told him he wouldn't work. And he told them he wouldn't work as long as the policy remained in place. He was then terminated, according to his email.
Well, I hope he got a good severance.
Yep.
I hope that I hope he's being scouted. and I hope to see him in a more forward-thinking company.
I
Wow,
agree.
fucking terrible. This is another reason why like I need to separate myself from like the company that owns something and the art, because I honestly I wouldn't eat anywhere, I wouldn't play any games, I wouldn't watch any movies because everybody's fucking terrible. Everyone's terrible, and like there's no dignity in something like this. Like they're not taking care of their employees when they do something like this. So
Yeah, and I saw somebody arguing about Hogwarts Legacy, and we won't even get into that. But the response, and this is a very common sentiment, but I hadn't thought about it like this. Somebody just said, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, and again,
Correct.
very common, popular sentiment, but it's true. Like you just said, you wouldn't play anything, you wouldn't watch anything, you wouldn't eat anywhere, you wouldn't do anything. You would live in the forest and forage, nuts and berries,
Exactly.
and that's all you
Even
could
that.
do.
Yeah.
Even that might be problematic.
Yeah, the forest might be owned by Nestle or
Lorax.
something.
Oh,
Or the land was improperly managed and taken away from people. Ultimately, no matter what you would do, you would just have to not exist because everywhere is problematic.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to take stands where you think is appropriate. For example, if you really don't want to buy Hogwarts Legacy, then don't buy Hogwarts Legacy. If, hearing about this policy at Blizzard makes you want to not play, Activision games, then good. That will hurt them. But I also don't think, in most cases, every case is going to be its own thing, that there's a one true answer. It's not black and white. You have to look at it case by case and make, it ultimately it falls onto you to, if you think that it's the right thing for you to do to not purchase the game or not play the game or, book or movie or whatever it be, then that's your right.
I agree. Let's move on to some good news. Let's three bad news in a row I don't want to do.
Okay, we'll move on to story number 5, which is the Xbox Bethesda showcase was today.
Nice.
And although we weren't here to live react to it, I know everybody missed us. We do have a nice little recap from IGN, so I'm going to go over that now, and we'll watch some trailers and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is good news. So Xbox and Bethesda Developer Direct, January 2023, everything announced from IGN. The Xbox and Bethesda Developer Direct for January 2023 aired earlier today, as Microsoft and its partners shared updates on games including Redfall, The Elder Scrolls Online, Forza Motorsport, Minecraft Legends, and more. So we're going to start with Redfall gets an extended gameplay showcase coming May 2nd. Let me back up. Redfall gets an extended gameplay showcase and a release date of May 2nd. Redfall finally has a release date. The co-op vampire shooter from Arcane and Bethesda is coming on May 2nd. We also got a good look at some extended gameplay showing Arcane's trademark level design that allows players to take on combat situations in multiple ways. John, I don't know if you're showing this trailer yet or not.
I am not, but I can.
Okay. It's 11 minutes long. We don't
Jesus.
need to watch the whole thing, but I wanted to watch some of it and get some reactions. I don't know how much either of you know about Redfall, but I'm excited about it.
I'm going to have you guys watch the trailer on your side because I don't have this set up for screen share properly. It's going to break the scene if I screen share. So I'll play it on the desktop and then we'll go from there. How about that?
Okay.
Okie dokie.
I'll scrub through. I don't know. You said it's long?
It's 11 minutes long. We don't need to watch the whole thing.
Okay. I mean, we got some floating vampires. We got cool deaths. Got a
So do either of you know much about this game?
Not at all.
We reacted to it when it was announced. It was like it's like a Back for Blood but with vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Left 4 Dead but with vampires.
Might be a little too spooky for Courtney.
No, this looks awesome. We should all play this.
I really want to. So yeah, it's like a Left 4 Dead with vampires developed by the people who made Dishonored. So you get some really cool powers. It looks really good. I'm really excited to tackle this one, and it's multiplayer and single player.
God, this looks so fun. Like you don't have to be scared. You have guns and you have telekinetic powers and all other stuff.
Courtney, did you ever play Left 4 Dead, or was that too scary for you?
I did. I didn't enjoy it, and it didn't help that the people I played it with were assholes and made it worse.
That seems
so.
to be every game.
Shit, you're not gonna be able to play this then because we're assholes too.
Well, it's not like we're gonna push you into one of the rooms and close the door or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haha, you're getting hazed.
Yeah,
this looks.
we'll play
This
co-op.
looks awesome.
We'd play we'd play support. I don't see a reason why we wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think this is. It's very cartoony in my opinion. I
Well,
don't think it's
the
like,
enemies look pretty creepy.
but
Let's see.
I'm trying to get Courtney to want to play this, not
Oh,
be
I know,
afraid of it.
Christian's trying so hard to be like, look, it's not this bad. I don't know, it's kind of bad. Well, how about this?
it looks fun.
Well,
I would
agree
love
to
to be able
disagree.
to get codes for this so that we can play it when it launches, but I don't know how plausible that is.
I mean, I'm gonna buy it, so that's one less code that you have to buy, and also it'll be on Game Pass, so it won't matter.
Oh, Courtney, you have Game Pass, right?
I do.
Okay. So, will it be on Game Pass on PC? Was that announced?
I don't know. I
Okay.
think so.
I'll have to plug in my Xbox
Redfall, Game Pass, PC.
I will consider playing. I will think about it.
Oh, I'm ready for this. This looks so fun. God, we can make so many Let's Plays with this.
I gotta imagine
She's
it's coming
hot.
to Game
That
Pass.
vampire was hot. Look, like they're not even that creepy.
Yeah, it's probably coming to Game Pass on PC because it's a first-party game, and they said all games are. It's a PC game, and all first-party games are coming to Game Pass.
Cool. All right. What else do we got?
All right, so moving on down the line, Minecraft Legends gets an April release date with PvP details revealed. Minecraft Legends is the upcoming action strategy game set in the Minecraft universe, and today we learned that the game is coming out April 18th.
My birthday.
Xbox-
Hey, happy birthday, John!
shit.
Minecraft.
I know that's your favorite
Your
series of all time.
favorite.
All right. Well, now I have to get into the Fantasy Critic and try to buy this one, Minecraft Legends.
Oh fuck, I forgot about the Fantasy Critic.
Not me.
Dude, I'm so excited. Have you been bidding on stuff, John?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
I gotta go check my bids.
Reveals Sunday. We don't know nothing yet.
Okay.
Let's take a look. What is this? This looks like shit. Tell me more about Minecraft Legends.
Are you playing the trailer?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you say it looks like shit?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's Minecraft, so.
Yeah, but
Ex-
even Minecraft looks good. This why is there like a
What kind of game is this?
I don't know. That's what I was
I
hoping
don't
you were gonna
understand
tell
what
me.
any of this. What is this?
There's like
Gather
a
your strength. Explore a familiar yet mysterious land full of diverse life, lush biomes, and rich resources. But this paradise is on the brink of destruction. The piglins have arrived, and they're threatening to corrupt the overworld. I'm reading from the official website.
This feels like Minecraft meets Breath of the Wild meets
it looks
like Skyrim.
Is it a story game? I'm trying to find out information.
I thought it
from
was a strategy game, but
Yeah,
Legends.
interesting.
Switch.
Well, for those of you who love Minecraft,
I mean, people seem to be excited for it.
yeah, if you're excited for it, awesome. I hope you go flock to get it and tell the developers how much you love it by buying it.
It's I mean, it's coming out, April 18th. It's coming to all platforms. So
Nice.
it could be cool, what was it? Minecraft Dungeons?
Yeah.
They need to
My son liked that
stop
one.
coming out with games that are Minecraft blank S. Like
yeah.
this should have been like the Legend of Mine. Oh, I guess that would have been like too big of a ripoff of Legend of Zelda. So I guess
Breath of the Minecraft.
Yeah.
Breath of the Minecraft. Sorry, I'm like watching the trailer now, and
I can't tell what kind of gameplay it is, so I was just fucking around, but
it does kind of look like an action adventure game.
What it feels like to me.
I thought it, like you said, I thought it was gonna be like a strategy game, but there looks like there's some base building that goes along with it. Maybe it's gonna be something like DayZ or
we should play DayZ.
State of Decay.
You're
Yeah.
real pushing hard to get that DayZ playthrough.
We
aren't
should play
you?
DayZ.
All right, moving on. Forza Motorsport gameplay and details revealed. So we did not get a release date for this, but Turn 10 Studios showed off some new gameplay for Forza Motorsport, which is still set for some time in 2023. The developers said Forza Motorsport will feature 20 locations to race at, including returning favorites and 5 that are brand new to this entry. We also saw lots of beautiful shots of the racing, which will run at 4K 60 frames per second with ray tracing.
Wow, we.
Wow, we. I need that as a quote. I need John or as an audio clip. Wow, we.
Wow, we.
That's gonna be my text tone for when John texts. Wow, we.
I still don't know what ray tracing is, but one day I'll learn.
It's pretty graphics, John.
Oh, I like
That's
that.
what it means.
I like that.
Forza Motorsport will feature more than 500 cars, including over 100 cars that are new to the game. That's too many cars, man.
Hey.
Who's racing with 500, 600 cars?
Microsoft's
500.
Xbox mascot is car, okay? If they can have one car, they have to have all the... Is that a Miata? Holy shit. I want the Miata. I drove it. Well, in Need for Speed Underground, I always souped up the Miata because I thought it was funny.
It's such a small car. Have you ridden in a Miata before?
No, I don't have rich friends who can afford Miatas.
I've ridden in it before. It's very, very small, and the person, my uncle who owned it, was a tall man, but because it was a Miata, he needed to have it. So watching him squeeze himself into this thing, and then he took me for a ride, I'm like, this is stupid.
I like the Miata.
Yeah, so if you're into car games,
Or go fast.
Which we
Go
are.
fast. I'm into kart games,
Mario Kart.
specifically Mario Kart. Not even Crash Team Racing, because that game was garbage.
There's no cart in that word.
Yeah, how am I supposed to enjoy a game when there's no kart in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm also not interested in Minecraft Legends. Give me a Minecraft race. Oh shit, I actually kind of want that to happen. Give me Minecraft kart,
Yeah.
man.
I'd watch that. I'd play that.
I'd watch you play that.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I would totally watch you play that.
All right, moving on. We got a new game from Tango Gameworks, the studio behind The Evil Within. It's called Hi-Fi Rush, and it's out today. It's a rhythm action game.
Hey.
In Hi-Fi Rush, everything moves to the beat. This vibrant rhythm action game is coming to Game Pass later today. It comes from Tango Gameworks, like I said, the studio behind The Evil Within and Ghostwire Tokyo.
Available
It's a big
now.
departure for the studio. It's a bright, upbeat gameplay and a rocking soundtrack.
Very weird.
I'm gonna check out this trailer right now.
People are already super hyped on it.
Really?
Yeah.
I like how it looks.
Twitter was going crazy. They're like, I'm getting this. I have to play this. This looks amazing.
I'm getting this as if they're not just gonna play it for free on Game Pass.
That's what that's what they mean. They're getting it on Game Pass, you know, day and date. And then
Today and date.
did we know this
Today.
game was coming, or was this just like a stealth
It was-
drop?
It was a stealth drop.
Nice.
This game does look pretty dope.
I like how it looks.
It looks silly.
It looks like a cool like anime cartoon, like a not an anime cartoon. It gives me Reboot vibes. Do you remember Reboot?
No. What's Reboot?
You don't remember Reboot?
Is that a show?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll send a picture in the chat.
got it.
For me, it gives me like Code Lyoko vibes. I don't know if you guys remember that show.
I remember Code Lyoko.
That's what that gives. That's what this gives me.
I like the cell shading a lot. I think it looks great.
All right, cool. And we'll move on to the last little bit of news from there. From the developer showcase today, you can try all the previous Elder Scrolls Online chapters for free.
Oh.
All right. Xbox shared a look at Elder Scrolls Online's newest class, the Arcanist, and talked about its next major content update. Titled The Necrom, the chapter is taking players back to Morrowind. Plus, Xbox revealed that it's making all 20 previous chapters and DLC free to play for a limited time. So now you can jump into the world of Elder Scrolls Online as long as you have access to the base game.
Nice. So wait, you can get the other chapters for free, but then like you lose them if you don't pay for them?
I don't know, John. That's a question for Mr. Xbox himself.
That's fair. I tried.
I'm just here for the news. I'm reading what's on the screen. I don't know anything about these games. I've never played a game in my life.
I love Skyrim and I loved MMOs because of World of Warcraft, but I cannot get into Elder Scrolls Online. It was so convoluted. I could not figure it out for the life of me.
I used to play it a lot, and I had one friend who literally, we just played this, it was just the two of us, and then we fell off, but I really enjoyed it because I love the Elder Scrolls games.
It's so hard. Couldn't figure it out. I'm like, this
I think you two should jump back into it.
I don't have time.
I know we've already gotten less time to play WoW, and that's really disappointing.
Yeah.
John, I'll play DayZ if you play and complete Elder Scrolls Online.
There's no way of completing an online game. It just goes on forever.
You can get caught up if you beat all the content, and you're waiting for the next content. I'll consider that beat. So come on, get on it.
That's the only way you'll play DayZ.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Oh, shucks, Don.
This sucks.
Darn.
I guess you really don't want me to play DayZ that bad.
No, I just really don't want to play Elder Scrolls Online that bad.
All right, let's move on to our last news story, which is the best news story.
Oh, yes. The best.
That we have today. GoldenEye 007 comes to Nintendo Switch Online and Xbox Game Pass this week.
Ooh.
N64 classic GoldenEye 007 will finally arrive on Nintendo Switch Online's expansion pass and Xbox Game Pass on January 27th. That is Friday.
Hey, best game.
Announced via Nintendo's YouTube channel on the Xbox Wire, the long-anticipated release date finally confirms when players can jump back into the role of James Bond, both in its single-player and its beloved multiplayer. A series of leaks and rumors were finally confirmed by the two companies in September of last year, though GoldenEye previously only had a coming-soon release window. Those looking to play the game on Switch will need both Nintendo Switch Online and its expansion pass, while Xbox users will be able to download it for no additional cost via Xbox Game Pass. The two versions of the game aren't identical, however, as only the Switch version will include online multiplayer, the first time this feature has been officially available for the 26-year-old game. The Xbox version will be a remastered edition that includes new control options, achievements, a 16:9 resolution, and up to 4K Ultra HD resolution. Because you really got to see those polygons in 4K Ultra HD resolution. Are we hyped for this?
Yes.
No.
I am.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the novelty of it. Yeah, definitely, and for that sweet Grant Kirkhope music, but I don't know, man. GoldenEye had its moment in the sun 27 years ago when it came out, and
John hates GoldenEye confirmed.
I'm disappointed that the Xbox version isn't going to have online play.
Yeah.
I'm sure that will change at some point.
I'm sure there's a contract there somewhere. The surprising thing, honestly, is that first of all, they got the licenses, because that was the hardest part, is that people were like, are we ever going to get a new 007 GoldenEye game? And it's like, well, the licenses are really hard to come by. MGM owns some, and, you know, Rare owns some, and Nintendo doesn't own any anymore. And it was just a mess. So this is a shocker, in all honesty. So
yeah, I think it's really cool that they're bringing it back. I'm sorry, John, go ahead.
I think it's cool.
Yeah. Are we going to play it online? Are we going to try it out?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Odd job.
Related.
Damn, too bad Talk Gaming's not on Friday. Otherwise, we could just jump right into it now.
Damn. Oh, yeah,
but
on Friday.
It does come out Friday. I'm going to be playing Dead Space, though. What are you guys playing? What are we playing recently? Anything?
World of Warcraft.
Wow.
Just WoW for both of you, huh?
Oh, no, Sims 4.
Oh, okay.
I've gotten back into Sims 4.
I need to play Fire Emblem Engage to get real dumb, because I'm not good at it. So I'm gonna play some of that. But I have nothing that's really holding my attention right now. I've been spending a lot of my time editing videos, and yeah, I just don't have free time for video games right now. As much as I love them, I am doing other things creatively to keep the channel afloat. So if you folks want to support us in any way, shape, or form, make sure to check out the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, if you're watching, just subscribe. It's free to subscribe. Give that video a like. Also, leave a comment. Comments really push the algorithm, so I'd greatly appreciate that.
Smack the bell.
And smack the bell.
I can't comment on the video.
No, not yet. Not until the stream's over.
Okay. I was trying to say, this is the best show I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I need this 7 days a week. Like, I just, I guess I'm going to have to learn how YouTube works.
Imagine Christian being available more than 1 day a week. Yeah, right.
I know, right?
I'm a busy man,
Yeah,
all right?
all right.
I got video games to play, okay?
Yes, we know.
How am I supposed to make content for you
Yeah.
if I'm not playing the games?
I'm
That's
still
what I
waiting
want
for
to
my
know.
once a month review for Patreon. We're already 25 days into January. Not a single review have I posted to Patreon.
Because you're going to get them all next week when I give you my Game of the Year 2022 list, which
All right.
is 100% going to happen. And hopefully, look, I'm going to be real with you. I'm sitting down every night to write these reviews, and they're not going well.
I believe in you, Christian.
It's been a long time since I've written anything formally.
Fucking Kevin.
And
God damn it. This is the best show I've ever seen. I need this 7 days a week in the chat.
Thank you.
Kevin. But yeah, I'm sitting down to write this stuff, and it is not coming easy. It is very much a muscle that is out of shape. I'm doing my best. It's atrophied, yeah. Absolutely. It's atrophied. It's been excised from my body. I'm having to get it stitched back in, to be completely honest. I'm trying, though, and I really want to start. I really, 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 truly want to start bringing written content and some sort of reviews as we go, but I am just having a lot of trouble getting back into it. So I'm hoping that by doing this big sort of expose, presentation on what my favorite stuff of 2022 was, that we will be able to get me back into some sort of rhythm and have at least semi-frequent written updates.
And that'll be available for $1 on the Patreon. Check out the link below. Also, for $5, you'll get the post show, which we are recording right after this, the Patreon exclusive post show. And for $8, you get all of that plus a sticker sent to you every single month, so you can show off your Talk Limited support and stick them on, I don't know, stop signs or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or your water bottle.
Or your water bottle, which is more legal than putting it on a stop sign.
John.
I mean, you didn't say what side of the stop sign. Is it illegal on all of the stop sign?
Yes. Yes. Great question.
Don't vandalize
Defacing
that, thank you.
government property is illegal on all sides of the stop sign. Yes. Great.
I'm just saying, if you're not covering up the stop
Yes.
portion of it, is it illegal?
Yes.
I like covering up one-way signs. That's my favorite.
So it just says way.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for
Thank you.
Oh, that's right.
Before we go,
Yes.
we're going to say thank you
Yes.
to you wonderful supporters.
Yes, for those who do support us on Patreon, this is your time to shine. Your name is on the screen. Hold on. Your name is on the screen right now. Woo! Thank you all so
Magic.
much. I know it is.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all so much for supporting us and supporting the show and for being here.
Thank
Like, comment, subscribe, tell one other person about this stream or this channel. We have a lot of things that aren't on the stream. Join us on Friday. We're taking a day off tomorrow. Join us on Friday. I think I'm going to make Courtney play Undertale with me.
Great.
Really? Have
Yeah.
you played Undertale before, John?
Yes, but this is going to be Courtney's first time experiencing it, so I'm going to let her make all the decisions.
But before we go,
Wonderful.
I wanted to ask you guys, how was your kindergarten playthrough? What was that like?
We got so many people killed. We died.
Kindergarten was great. I recommend you watch. I edited it down, so it's in 2 parts right now. I'm very proud of that editing work. I did not know what Kindergarten was about.
Me either.
Courtney spoiled a little bit, but it's funny. It's funny. Just watch it. I think going into it not knowing what it is really brings the humor out. It is difficult though, because basically you're trying to get through the storyline through the day, and it's puzzle based. So you're trying to figure out which path to take, who to talk to, what items to get in order to finish a day with a character. And it is tough. It is tough. I don't know if we'll go back to it anytime soon, but we might have to try it for like a full run one day.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
It was funny.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Very funny.
the three of us can play one day too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll control it, and
Yeah.
we'll choose it, and we'll do a talk. We'll do a talk plays episode, and we'll upload it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Wait, real quick. I'm going to go out with a tweet from the Grant Kirkhope related to GoldenEye. He says, "It's so bizarre that the GoldenEye pause music has developed a life of its own. Something that took me 20 minutes to write, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Constantly on the phone to @Norgans because I'd broken something or I couldn't understand what was going on." So little, I thought that was a funny little glimpse into him writing the very famous pause music for GoldenEye. But thank you, everybody. Play games and be better.
Love you. Bye.